Welcome to another Yin practice. My name is Bridie and thanks for joining on the Yoga Coast channel. Today we have a Yin practice focusing on our spine, so nourishing our spine, lots of forward folding, back bends and some nice twists to finish. So first, just beginning in your seat, grabbing your bolster or a couple of pillows from your bed and maybe a block as well if you need some extra support. So either sitting cross-legged or maybe you find yourself kneeling and you can place the bolster underneath the thighs, in between the thighs, to find yourself on your knees. And bringing the back of the hands to the thighs, palms facing up, and just coming to close down your eyes here first, just connecting with our breath, starting to calm and center our mind. And starting to become aware of your whole body. Just checking in with how you're feeling in this moment and trying to check in as a detached witness, so not judging whatever it is that comes up. Just acknowledging and being present with what is. And in this observation you might be noticing the physical body, any niggles, any areas of tightness or spaces that are making themselves known to you. Maybe checking in with your emotional body, noticing where your vibration is at right now. And checking in with your energetic body, noticing how that feels. If you've had a busy day or a busy week, it might be feeling a little bit zapped. You might feel quite tired. Maybe you've had some good news recently, or indulged in things that you love and you feel quite energetic. Either way, just observing. And witnessing your natural breath without changing or controlling the breath. You might find that your breath gives you a little bit of an indication as to how you are feeling. It may match your observations if you feel you're a little bit tired or stressed. You might notice the breath only reaching into the area of the chest. You may even be breathing in and out through the mouth. If you're already feeling quite calm and centered, you might notice the breath reaching down into the belly. And so, wherever the rhythm may be for you of breath, can you start to transition your breath in and out through the nose? And starting to focus on breathing down into the belly and up into the chest. And releasing from the chest, releasing from the belly. Continuing with this rhythm, breathing into belly, into chest. And exhaling from the chest. And exhaling from the belly. Starting to lengthen every inhale, matching the length on the exhale. Finding the smoothness of breath. The mind starts to wander, we just draw it back to this pattern, breathing into belly, into chest. As each and every breath may begin to get longer, can you use the length of that exhale to just start to relax the whole physical body? Really giving all of your weight down into your seat. Keeping integrity through your spine as you sit tall. Using this smooth inhalation and exhalation just to start to travel up and down the length of your spine. Visualizing the breath beginning at your tailbone. As you inhale, it draws all the way up the spine to the very base of the skull. And it softens on the exhale, coming down the length of the spine, back to the tailbone, back to your base. Just finding a few more breaths just like this, breathing from tailbone all the way to base of skull. Nourishing the spine with your breath. Maintaining this newfound natural breath that is smooth and long and deep into belly. As we start to move into our first posture, finding our wide-legged child's pose. So just grabbing a hold of your pillows or your bolster, bringing the big toes to touch, knees out nice and wide. Then coming to rest the belly down onto the bolster, just dropping right or left cheek down to your prop. There's always, of course, the option to remove the bolster and come to drop the forehead and heart down to the mat. I like to just let you be in your poses for our yin practice. So once you're comfortable in your position, just allowing the breath to be, allowing the body to fall and land. No pushing or pulling, just where it falls is exactly where it's meant to be. I'll let you know when it's time to come out. We'll be here for roughly 5 minutes. If you have your cheek drop to one side, just changing over the cheek to balance out through the neck. And finding a beautiful big breath down into your hips, traveling down the length of the spine to the tailbone. And as you exhale, we walk the hands back in towards the knees, slowly rising out of your pose. We're coming straight into our next posture, finding our Sphinx. So coming to rest down onto your belly, you can bring the bolster just underneath the chest for support, or you don't have to have the bolster. Then coming onto our forearms and lifting through the heart, just softening the shoulder blades down the back. If this feels too deep in your spine, you can remove your prop and just come to stack your hands into fists, bringing the forehead to the fists. If that still feels a little too deep of a back bend, you can stack the hands and bring the forehead to the palm of the hands. So just choosing the option. You shouldn't feel any discomfort in your lower back. If you feel discomfort, just drop it down a degree. And then with your head, you can choose to keep it lifted, maybe drop it back, or you can just allow it to hang from the shoulders. And just relaxing through the glutes, let the legs be heavy all the way down to the toes. And again, I'll let you know when it's time to come out. If you wish to take this pose deeper, maybe for the last 30 seconds, you come to find seal pose, taking the hands a little bit wider towards the top edges of your mat and come to lift onto the palm of the hands. And on your next exhale breath, starting to soften the elbows, releasing back to the forearms and coming to rise out of your Sphinx. Moving into a rebound here, option to come onto your back. Otherwise, it feels super nice to find your belly, bringing the bolster just underneath the hips and extending the arms out long, dropping a cheek down to the mat. Just allowing the body to rebalance from our first two postures. Allowing your chi, your energy to start to move freely through your meridian lines that may have been a little tight or blocked. You may have started to release in those poses. Bringing your hands by side, your rib cage press into the earth, rising back up, moving into our sleeping swan. So coming to bend into the right knee, extending the left leg long behind, or there's always the option here for D pose, bringing the left knee into the right foot. Otherwise, if you're joining in swan, extending that left leg long, bringing the bolster across the right hip crease. Again, option to use or not use your prop. And just come to drape the body, folding forward. Making sure that right hip bone is grounded to the mat. Again, breathing down into the lower back, into the right hip. Using the exhale breath to ground the palms, walking hands back towards the hips. And releasing that left leg forward, just finding a windshield wiper through the legs, taking the feet width distance of the mat, and finding a gentle rock from side to side with the knees. And finding our sleeping swan on the other side. So this time we're bending into the left knee, extending the right leg out long behind, or again, we find deer pose, bringing the right knee to the left foot. Using your bolster if you need, we place it across the left hip crease, or maybe you just bring it forward to come and rest the forearms or the forehead down towards the bolster. Often we can feel lower pain in the spine and the lower back due to tightness of the hips. So our swan pose helps to release those muscles that interfere with the lower back. Smooth, deep inhale. And exhale, grounding the palms once again. We rise nice and slow. And swinging the right leg forward. Again, taking that option to windshield wiper out through the legs, just releasing through the hips. And we're making our way down onto our backs, just grabbing a hold of your chosen prop and placing it down the length of your right leg. So the top of your bolster or pillow is in line with the right hip, and the rest comes down the length of the right leg. Just spending a few moments here in a rebound to begin, arms long down by your side. Maybe you choose to find a bend in the knees and just allow the knees to knock in towards one another if you find discomfort in the lower back. Of course, always the option to bring your prop underneath your knees. And from here, we're moving into our cat tail twist. So drawing the left knee in towards the chest. And just tapping the left toes down to the mat. Take the arms out nice and wide. We're just lifting the hips, tucking the right hip ever so slightly underneath the left. Then continuing to twist, landing the left knee, the inner seam of the calf and the foot all the way to your prop. And starting to gaze over towards the left fingertips. Now if you do have the space in your spine and you can ground the knee to the mat, you can release your prop. And just coming to find a full twist with the knee resting on the earth. You can hold in our supine twist or starting to bend into the right knee, grabbing a hold of the foot with the left hand. And just allowing your body to completely soften into this shape. Remember, we don't want to push and pull, so if you can't quite reach the foot, just remain in your twist. If you have your bind, try not to allow the leg to slingshot, just slowly releasing your bind with control. Re-extend the right leg out long. And slowly releasing back onto your spine. Moving the hips back through center. Just taking a minute here, allowing the lower back to neutralize, knees knocking in towards one another, feet width distance of the mat. And when your body feels ready, just transitioning your prop to the left-hand side if you used it on the right. Making sure the whole inner seam of the calf is going to fit onto your cushion, and extending the left leg long, drawing the right knee into the chest. And tapping the right toes, coming to lift the hips slightly. Left hip tucks underneath the right, finding your twist, releasing the knee to the cushion, or removing the cushion, releasing the knee all the way down to the earth. With the arms out into a T position, gazing to the right fingertips. Again, taking that option for your cat-tail bind, bending the left knee, grabbing a hold of the foot with the right hand. And relaxing through the glutes, soften the shoulders, soften the face. Gentle release of your bind once again if you're in it. And slow roll back onto the spine. Taking the feet out wide again, allowing the knees to fall in towards one another. And finding our final pose, our pentacle pose, where we rest in stillness, nice and long through our meridian lines, just allowing the medicine of our practice to sink in and be delivered to every single cell of the body. So maybe remain here with knees bent, taking the arms out long, or grabbing a hold of your prop, placing it underneath the knees, or you can just find yourself outstretched on your mats without any props. Taking the feet wider than the hips, arms outstretched so they're not touching the sides of the body, palms facing up. And taking a nice full complete breath into belly, into chest. And as you exhale from the chest, then exhale from the belly, completely melding the body down into the earth, finding rest here. I'm going to let you stay here for as long as you need, trying to remain for at least 5 minutes. Hope you enjoyed your practice with me. If you did, please like and subscribe. Let me know how your spine is feeling at the end. Thanks again for joining. Namaste.